For those of you that want some sort of perspective, please go watch my previous video that I did a couple of months back when the news was first announced regarding what it is that we're about to talk about. It'll just give you a little perspective. But basically, the final striking blow to racism has been more so officialized. We knew that it was going to happen, but now it's official. We finally see it come into fruition. For those of you that are out the loop, Aunt Jemima, yes, the syrup lady, was removed due to racism because syrup bottles are racist. And black women on syrup bottles are especially racist. But have no fear. That has been resolved and ending racism as we speak. But it has been now officialized. The new branding is finally out in terms of what they're going with, because for a little bit there, they just removed the black woman from the packaging on Aunt Jemima, and it just was Aunt Jemima with no black woman on it. Now, the new branding is finally out, new logo, everything. It's not called Aunt Jemima anymore. It's officially called the Pearl Milling Company. Now, I'm sure that has some sort of historical reference to the syrup here. I'm not sure what the Pearl Milling Company is. But now, it's no longer Aunt Jemima syrup. It is Pearl Milling Company syrup. And the black woman on February, which is Black History Month, as they say, they removed the black lady officially and moved not only her likeness, but her name is now off of the bottle. And on the pancake mix boxes, you'll no longer see that. Now you'll see Pearl Milling Company, and all of racism has officially been ended. I want to congratulate you guys. I want to congratulate the Pearl Milling Company as well for being bold and brave and really taking it to the racists by removing the black woman from the bottle, because that's exactly what we needed in today's day and age. Okay, sarcasm, whatever that is. Sarcasm out the window. I know we discussed this, and it's funny. It sounds loony. It's like, wow, how crazy have we gotten? In American culture, where we place all of this emphasis on finding racism in every little thing that we possibly can, to the point to where we have to now remove black women from these syrup bottles, because that is a form of racism. You know, there's been other black caricatures and not necessarily just caricatures or people that were, you know, some of these were based on actual historical figures. Uncle Ben as well. These guys have been completely removed because that is the way to end racism, because somehow these guys it's rooted in some sort of racism, slavery, something like that. You can't have black people on definitely people that's been on there that long. You can't have this. It's just rooted in so much racism. And it sounds so crazy because it is crazy. Man, I predicted that once this is all said and done, you know what happened with the Redskins? They're no longer a thing anymore. Now they're the Washington football team. I said that when it's all said and done, when it comes to like sports and again caricatures and mascots and things that are depicting even real people, before it's all said and done, it's just going to be white mascots and whatnot that are allowed to exist, because nobody ever said that the Fighting Irish, they had a little leprechaun looking dude doing this. Like that's their mascot, and ain't nobody called it racist or nothing. So they get to be that, you know, Vikings, Cowboys, all of these guys, these white characters get to exist, and it's never assumed that it was racist. Now, because this is where we've gotten now, everybody needs to find racism in every single little thing, because for some reason, even though my grandmother, for example, would always have Aunt Jemima, either the pancake mix or the syrup bottles, she come from that era, rest in peace, but for some reason, she didn't find it racist either, and I didn't know it. I've never, and I'm being completely honest with you guys, not once have I ever heard a black person moan about Aunt Jemima, or Uncle Ben for that matter, by the products. Never once have I heard that. Never. And I'm pretty sure the story is very similar to you guys, except for people that want to be, who either, again, they get paid by this. You know, it's a very lucrative market, finding racism and everything. So now you get to champion the fact that, well, black women are now being removed from syrup bottles, and that has taken it to the races. Sounds crazy because it is. And it's only going to get crazier as long as we allow this foolishness and this buffoonery to continue to manifest itself in a multitude of different ways, as it has over the course of the last years. And that is that we look and we obsess and we foam at the mouth from a cultural standpoint at these ideas of racism, no matter what they mean. Now, that doesn't even matter. It's about trying to find it anywhere that you can. And we don't want anybody to be offended, and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings when it comes to this. Certainly when it comes to people in this day and age who have never experienced what they claim to have experienced, or rather their ancestors have experienced, when it comes to actual legitimate forms of racism. It's crazy, and I will continue to say this because it is, and it's only going to get crazier. But at least we got the pancake syrup and the mix removed. I mean, I can imagine that as distraught as, racism is, because it's so prominent in America. I mean, I know it's such an ethnically and culturally and from a racial standpoint diverse place, if not I would argue it is the most diverse place from that aspect in the world. A lot of people get along with people of different races and ethnic backgrounds cordially. Doesn't mean we gotta like anything and everything about every single person, but culturally, for the most part, a lot of us get along. It isn't until you turn on your TV or you get on Twitter or something like that where you see people completely negating, or rather disregarding, their real life experience, because racism now, along with other things, they've become an actual market. And it's also a way that people get control of certain things, because, hey, you don't want to be considered racist, do you? Well, you have to listen to me and you have to do this. I don't know anybody, but as far as the pancake syrup, I don't know anybody other than maybe white leftists that were actually offended at this. And again, that's being offended on someone else's behalf. But, I guess the striking blow to racism that we're going to continue to land, right? It'll end up with just white folks and white characters that are allowed to exist as mascots for certain brands. And then that will for sure resolve all the racism, when all you see on everything are white characters and white establishments and white things, because of course they don't get offended and they don't find racism in everything. But if you're a non-white person, a white leftist, well, maybe that's what, by design. You ever think about that? Maybe it's by design. Maybe this is what they actually want, and maybe the people that have been claiming racism and calling everybody and their mama racist were the actual racists all along. It's funny how that works.